Are You Really Going to Eat That? Podcast episode 149. Hey there, I'm your host Wendy Hill and I'm a naturopathic nutritional therapist and expert in female hormone health. I specialise in helping women gain confidence and understand their bodies, allowing them to shine. I'm a huge foodie and this podcast allows me to bring you an eclectic mixture of guests where food and health is our uniting passion. Hey guys, how are you doing? Welcome to this week's podcast. So we are fast approaching the summer months and I actually don't go on holiday during the kind of peak summer period because I don't have kids. So why would I pay the extortionate prices that there is for holidays? But it is the time of year when we are all thinking about holidays, isn't it? So I've had a couple of conversations with friends over recent weeks about holidays. And I think, again, because of everything that's happened in recent years, and maybe we've changed our attitude a little bit about our holidays, kind of seeing them as a bit more precious. I think many of us got used to going on holiday once a year, twice a year, maybe. And suddenly when we couldn't, and now we can again, we're really kind of thinking, what do I want out of my holiday? And I've had quite a few conversations recently with kind of girlfriends who are talking about, how they feel, how they want to feel at the end of the holiday. And so this week, I just wanted to give you some of the things that I do that are going to help you enjoy your holiday, because at the end, ultimately, you need to enjoy your holiday. But what I don't want you to do is sabotage your health goals. The first thing that I almost want you to do is think about what you're going on holiday for, kind of really take it back and say, what do I want? How do I want to feel at the end of the holiday? And what do I want to get out of the holiday? So for me, I sometimes go on like active holidays. And so when I go on an active holiday, I want to be able to experience different sports or, do different things. Like we've recently been on an activity holiday. We quite like Nielsen holidays. And, I played lots of tennis. I did lots of exercise classes. I did some stand-up paddleboarding. I was going to have a go at windsurfing, but changed my mind at the end of it. But I wanted to be able to do all these things. So for me, that was a slightly different holiday. Whereas a recent holiday I went on was a bit of a relaxing one where I just wanted to chill out and I wanted to feel refreshed and relaxed by the time I came back. Other times it might be that you go on a weekend away and you want to, I want to eat my way around Rome, or, I want to be able to kind of, do lots of walking. And I think it firstly is thinking, what do you really want to get out of your holiday? And then take it back from there. So how do you want to feel at the end of the holiday? Or what do you want to achieve while you're there? Is there something particularly that you want to be able to do every day? And then, work out what you want to do. I think for me and for a lot of people, it's an opportunity to take time away from the normal, isn't it? For me, another kind of non-negotiable is my breakfast. So I'm a bit precious about my breakfast or brunch, but it often turns into on holiday. And I want to make sure that I have something really good in my body at the beginning of the day. I cannot function without having some kind of healthy, in my terms, healthy breakfast. So if it's a hotel and we've got breakfast included, that's great. So I might have like yogurt and fruit and granola, and then I'll often have an egg because I'll often have a later breakfast and kind of have a good substantial breakfast. So maybe an egg or, scrambled egg, poached eggs. Maybe it's kind of, like if I'm going out for breakfast, I might choose kind of like a Persian style eggs, or shashukas are kind of like peppers and tomatoes with an egg, or avocado with an egg, that kind of thing. But it's something that I know is going to be giving me some good nutrients first thing in the morning, first thing in the day, so that I know that then if I'm at the beach and I'm having chips for lunch or a slice of pizza for lunch, because that's often all you can seem to get at these kind of pool bars, or not a particularly great salad, at least I've had a good breakfast inside of me. So it's not to say that I'm not going to have an ice cream by the pool or whatever, but I know that I need to make sure that I'm getting a good breakfast in me. So breakfast for me, my first meal of the day is fairly non-negotiable. If I can get a smoothie, some juice, make sure I've got some veggies in there, some good protein in there. That for me is a real kind of really important one. So I'll always make sure that I find out where, if it's not included, I'll find out where a good breakfast is that I can go and get a really nice breakfast. And then the other thing is making sure I get lots of vegetables or salad in. So when I order my meal, whether, if it's in the evening or whatever, if it's kind of, I don't know, let's say, for example, you go into a steak restaurant or something, then I will have a conversation with the waiter and say, like, can I have veggies with, what does it come with? And they'll often say, oh, chips. And I'm like, okay, well, could I have vegetables instead, or could I have salad with it? Or if not, I'll look at the side orders and make sure I order those. Or depending on where you're going, Greece is great because you just order a big bowl of Greek salad to have in the middle of the table. And then there are a few things that I kind of put in my case that I pack, which will help me while I'm there. So sun cream. Now, I am a big fan of Tropic. I will put a link in the show notes. I am a Tropic ambassador, so it's my personal link. I really love their sun cream. It's very natural. I struggled with prickly heat for many, many years. And now I realized that it was actually the sun creams that I was using. And I was using some quite expensive sun creams as well. So there is an app called Think Dirty, which you can have a look at and tells you kind of like the dirtiness, the amount of toxins in your skincare products. And Tropic comes back as a 0. So that's no dirties, really good for you, or it's good for you as it can be. And I use their sun cream, and I haven't had prickly heat for many years now since I've swapped out those sun creams. And finally, I want to talk to you about what you do when you get home. So when you get home from your holiday, what do you do? I'm a little bit I've done this a lot previously, and I'm much better now, is that I would kind of still be in holiday mode for a few weeks. And I think that is the worst thing. And that's when you kind of feel the worst if you aren't eating really well and you kind of come back and you don't get back to your exercise and you don't get back to your healthy eating and you leave it another couple of weeks. And that's when that, if you have put on a bit of weight or a bit of bulge while you've been on holiday, if you don't come back to how you would whatever your normal is, remember, this is my normal and your normal. So whatever your normal is at the end of the holiday, if you don't come back to that quite quickly, then I think that can be a bit of an issue as well. So really thinking about, what do you need to have in the house for when you get back? I want to extend that feeling of feeling great. If I come back and I feel really refreshed, like I did on my last holiday, I want to extend that. And so making sure I've got all the things in place at home that will help me extend that. So is it about booking my gym classes or my PT in for when I get home, so that I know that when I get home, I've got a day to recover and then I'm back, at my classes and stuff. Do I need to book those in? I will often do a food shop while I'm on holiday. I'll get quite inspired by the food that we're eating, and I'll often book in a food delivery so it arrives like the day after we get home. I'll perhaps some things in the freezer so that the first when we get up, we've got something nice to eat, something good to eat. Otherwise you get home and what is there, and then you end up going to have to buy white bread and jam from the garage, because that's all you can get for your breakfast. So making sure there's something in the freezer so we've got something when we get home to eat, but definitely kind of making sure that you get yourself back to that routine as quickly as possible, because your routine shouldn't be about denying yourself. It should be about what makes you feel really well and really healthful. And so if going to the gym, my non-negotiables is getting some movement in most days. My non-negotiables is having a good breakfast. My non-negotiables is having plenty of vegetables and salads every day. That if that's my non-negotiables when I'm on holiday, I need to make sure that I can get back to those as quickly as I can when I get back from my holiday. And so making sure you've got all those things in place. You've got a delivery coming from Tesco's or wherever you get your delivery from, booking it in so that it arrives, so that you're not having to worry and think about it. Because you get home from holiday. I hate unpacking my case when I get home from holiday. I hate washing all the holiday clothes. And then if I've got to go shopping as well, it's like, it's just like chore after chore after chore. If I get home and the shopping gets delivered, a few hours after I get home or the morning after I get back, it's like, brilliant. And actually I've missed my kitchen because I love to cook. So then to be able to knock up a recipe that I've been inspired by on holiday or something is a great thing for me to be able to do. To remember that coming back and feeling and holding on to that amazing feeling for as long as you can is really, really important. So I hope that's helped. I hope if you're going away soon, it's made you sort of think about things that you can pack. And I've got all those. So remember, go to the show notes. So that's hillstart.me.uk/149. Next week, I have quite an exciting announcement. So do join me next week for episode 150. Can you believe it? 150 of the podcast. And I've got a few exciting announcements there for you. That is it for this week. Have a wonderful week and tune in next week. Thank you for listening to the Are You Really Going to Eat That podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, why not share it with your family and friends? And the best way to help me get out to a wider audience would be to leave me a review. So if you just got a couple of minutes, if you popped into iTunes and just scroll down to the bottom, click 5 stars, of course, and leave me a review, that really helps our ratings. And to make sure you get every episode in your inbox on a Wednesday as it's released, remember to click subscribe. Thank you so much for your support. Tune in again next week for the latest episode.